Okay, we're back again with Jason to talk more about the lead process and how to manage the leads and convert them to accounts and contacts and opportunities and to make things more efficient in your business processes when you manage leads. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing well, thanks, and you, Pete.
I I have no complaints. I never do.
So just to quickly show you the lead scoring, Pete, this is what a C grade lead looks like because there was no interaction. So you can see it's supposed to be in the red, right? So yeah, over here you could see the relationship health is in the red as well. So
Perfect. Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. And then, of course, those lead scores, I imagine that you can trigger automations from those as well. So a lot of times in sales, the leads will be cultivated. And then when they reach a certain amount of interaction, I kind of mentioned this before, you want them to be advanced to the selling team to actually then start to the sales process, not just the marketing process, but the more, there's a real opportunity, there's a real chance to do business here. So now we need the sellers to jump in, roll up their sleeves, and get the job done. So can you trigger this? And maybe I'm jumping ahead here, so I apologize, and we can put a pin in it if you want, but is there a way to trigger this when it hits a certain lead score that maybe it automatically closes this off as a lead and promotes it to an actual customer?
Yes, you could essentially you could do that. Again, it goes into Power Automate, so it's not going to be out of the box functionality. With the new functionality of qualifying a lead, and I'm going to get into that now, you might not want to do that, but yes, if you wanted to, yes, you could do it. Yeah.
See, I'm the dumb sales guy these days. So Jason's politely saying, "Hey, dumb sales guy, that's not a best practice. That's why you hire me to help make sure that you don't do the things that are suboptimal." So I want to hear. Why don't you walk me through that qualification process?
Yeah, so if I click on qualify at the top, this is going to go into the next step to qualifying this lead. Now, this is also a new functionality, so it might look a little bit differently to some of you viewers out there. Might have the old qualify stage where it just says qualify and it creates the account contact and the opportunity. What I've enabled now is the new way of doing it. Or it's fairly new. It's I think it's about 6 months old. So the screen's going to look a little bit differently. And this is the nice functionality. I'm just going to say ignore and save. It's just saying that there's a duplicate. And this is something important to note as well, is that's one of the big things people get wrong or a mistake they make is they qualify a lead without checking duplicates or with the duplicate detection rules disabled. And then you get two of the same customer in there, and then later on you need to merge those accounts. So that's one of the big mistakes companies make as well. So sorry,
Well,
just to touch on that.
no, no, I'm glad you did. Would you mind canceling this and going back to that screen then instead of passing
Oh
through it,
yeah.
just showing us what it looks like? So you're going to qualify, but this person already, the system is telling you, hey, Alpine Ski House already exists in the system.
That's correct.
So
Yes.
it's not
So it
saying
checks on.
Gerald exists, but Alpine Ski House, the company exists. Because what you have to remember, like for those of you who don't know, the lead is like a single record. But then when you promote it, it turns into two records. It turns into a company, which is called accounts, and it turns into a contact. And the reason why it does that is because a lot of times, as you all probably know, is you might be dealing with ABC company and you might be dealing with Gerald for now, but then Gerald might introduce you to Stephanie and Stephanie might introduce you to Steven. So like you can have multiple contacts at a company over time. But for now, what it's telling us here is even though Gerald was a lead, his company was labeled as Alpine Ski House, and we have two different records in our system already for Alpine Ski House. So someone's already done the damage, haven't they, Jason? It
Yeah,
looks like we,
they have.
we
Yeah.
someone already made a mistake and gave us. So are we going to make a third one here?
We are going to make a third one. So yeah, just to also make it a little bit clearer. So this one is matching on the accounts. If it matched on the contacts, like you said, it will show Gerald at the bottom over here. And
Yes.
it's checking on the account name being an exact match, and then also the email being the same, and I believe the website. So that's why it's picking it up as a duplicate.
So we're
However,
going to
I'm going to
ignore
ignore
this
and
for now.
save. Yeah,
But
I'm going to
in
be one of those salespeople.
yeah, exactly. You're going to be one of those salespeople who just ignores the warnings and just goes ahead and add their own contact. Yeah, but part of training is you'd want to make sure that your people pause here and say, okay, looks like these guys are already in the system. But let's
Yeah.
go ahead and move on.
Perfect. I'm just going to say ignore and save. So this gets me to the new lead qualify screen, if I could put it like that. So you can see over here, it looks a little bit differently than the previous screen. Now, Pete, I don't think you'll recall the previous screen because, like you mentioned, we don't recommend using leads for customers, but this is completely different. And what I like about it, okay, so obviously you still have the create new, use existing, or none, just not linking or creating an account for this. So it might just create a contact, which is a nice function. And then the same for contact, you have create new, use existing, or none if the contact might exist. But then what gets me excited is this opportunity functionality. So in the past, it created a account contact, right? Or a link to an existing account and contact, and then it creates the opportunity. But now what you could do is you could create up to 5 opportunities. So you can see over here, this is the first one, but then I could do new opportunity and I can create multiple different opportunities. So I'm just going to set Oppo 2 and hopefully it's going to, yeah. So you can see over here, opportunity 1, opportunity 2. Now, where you would use this is, and I'll use one of our clients as an example. I'm not going to name names, but they're in the oil and gas industry and they do like gas reselling and then they also do lubricants. Now, you might have an opportunity where you want to, or a lead where you want to track those 2 products in separate opportunities, right? So then you'll do an opportunity for the gas or the gas and diesel side, and then you'll do an opportunity for the lubricant side. But it's 2 different opportunities for the same lead. Another example is if you're a service-based company, but you also have inventory, then you could do the one opportunity that might go to a project, right? So then what that will get you is it's going to create the opportunity. It's going to be a service opportunity with labor and all of that. But then you can also do a separate opportunity, which is going to then be the inventory if you actually have products that you have to sell or implement on that opportunity. The reason you'd want to do this, and sorry if I'm getting too excited about this,
Oh, it's
is
really nice.
yeah, I completely agree. The reason you'd want to do that is you might win the opportunity on the labor side, but you might lose it on the actual product side, right? They might purchase the products through a different vendor or something like that. So that's why it's nice creating 2 different opportunities, or 3, or 4, or 5, however many you want. So, well,
So
up to 5.
one thing I did want to point out is when you switched from use existing account to show blank, it lost the Alpine ski house. You might need to put that back in there. But
Let
the other
me,
thing is that what you just said about the opportunities, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think most people, so you have to remember that the process here is we've been talking to someone. They've expressed some interest in working with us. And not for everybody, but for quite a few people out there, quite a few businesses out there, they might express interest in multiple different things that we can do for them, products or services. So that's really nice because then instead of having to go and manually do that in the end, what Microsoft is really trying to do is they're listening to the customers, and what they're trying to do is make it easy to get your data into the system. And that's exactly what this is doing. This is a huge benefit. I didn't even know this was possible. That's like, is this brand new? Like, that's really freaking cool.
yeah, it's pretty new. I think it's about 4 months old now, 3 months old. It launched late last year, so this also gets me pretty excited. And when I show it to customers, they quite like it.
Yeah.
Just to quickly point out, you could edit whatever it's going to create as well. So if you click on the little pencil there, you could change the budgeted amount. So you could split it completely, right? And this form is changeable as well, so you could change it. Same with the second opportunity as well. If I go in there, you can see this purchase time frame might be next quarter, right? So with this lead, you could have it in separate purchase time frames as well, with the opportunities being qualified. So I think this is a pretty great addition into the lead management piece in Dynamics. I think it's really helpful.
As a devil's advocate, why did they limit it to 5? I mean, honestly, I think 2 or 3 makes sense to me with based on the
Yeah.
customers I deal with. But so I don't even see anybody going beyond 3 really. But it's just funny that they limited it at all. Like, why not just let users decide what they think is best?
Yeah, it's weird. I also don't know how they came across 5, like how they came up with 5. But yeah, 5 is the limit as far as I know for now. So
I
yeah,
doubt anybody's going to really run into, at least not many of our current customers or prospects would run into a limit there. So I don't think
yeah,
it's a problem. I just think it's funny.
yeah. If you want to know how to enable this, you can always reach out to us as well. We can assist with enabling this on your environment if you don't see it. So yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, so let's go ahead and qualify them. And so what this is going to do, if I'm correct, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's going to actually turn this lead into an account, the contact, and those two opportunities you identified. It will, I also assume, it will assign the current owner of that lead to the records that are created. And then will it close this lead off somehow? Like, will it mark it as done, completed?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly true what you're saying there, Pete. So it is, you can see there the lead is qualified. It's and we'll get to the summary now. So yes, it's going to create the account contact. It's going to close the lead. It's going to make it inactive, and then you're going to work going forward on the opportunities. One thing also that I just want you to notice, all the activities are going to be moved into the accounts as well.
Oh,
So,
even
well,
closed ones?
and opportunities. Yeah, yeah. So it's
That's
transferring
nice.
it over to the opportunity. Yeah,
Okay. So it keeps
yeah.
that running history over there. All right, perfect.
Yep. And then a nice thing with the Copilot as well is you get like a lead qualification summary that you could click on these items as well. It will take you then to the opportunity. You could see the stakeholders that's involved as Gerald. So it gives you a nice summary just to see what's been done as well. So,
I think for
yeah.
those of you who maybe don't really understand what Copilot is and what it does, there's a lot of confusion that Copilot, all it does is kind of like write emails for you. And in my opinion, like as a seller, so I'm using Dynamics all the time. So I'm speaking as a seller. The writing my emails for me is my least interesting part of Copilot. It's these summaries that are super powerful because it gives me a snapshot of where I am with a prospect, an account, an opportunity, a service ticket, and it just really collapses everything. So I don't have to go search around a bunch of different records or reading through emails or asking my coworkers what the heck is going on. Like this is a really powerful value add for Copilot. It's also having an executive assistant that kind of just spits out a summary for you whenever you want for any type of deal or activity or account that you're talking to. It's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty powerful and it's getting better by the day as well. So we have a couple of customers that do use Copilot intensely. So yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
intensively. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna click finish.
Okay.
So if I click finish, okay, obviously Microsoft wants our feedback. I'm just gonna say no, I'm not gonna give the
They probably
feedback
saw you
now.
stick on that screen. They're like, why is it taking you so long here? You having problems here, buddy? Because that's a simple screen.
Yeah, yeah, no, it might be. So you can see over here on the left-hand side, it still shows that I'm in leads, but it's actually an opportunity now. You can see by the form I'm in the opportunity form. You can also see the business process flow moved from qualify to develop. Now, if I jump back to qualify, you can see the record is qualified. So nothing is really editable more anymore on the lead side. Everything is just viewable. But then if I jump to the develop side, it's jumping into the opportunity as well. So, and then
So
you can continue with your sales process.
So just to go a little bit slower for the people that didn't quite see that, because these screens look kind of the same. So Jason moved that lead forward as a qualified lead. So now it's in the sales team to develop it and to hopefully propose and close the deal. And that business process at the top, you can completely modify that to match your process. You can have different processes based on the type of deal it is and whatnot. But what he did was when he clicked the qualify button, it actually took him back to the lead screen. And I'm just going to actually do it one more time, Jason, just so people
Yeah.
can pay attention. So when he clicks the qualify, you can see now he's back on the lead screen. You can see because under Gerald's name, it says lead, and it actually says Gerald. It doesn't say the actual opportunity. He's got the lead score on the right. But then if he goes back to develop, it takes him to that opportunity. And I have a couple questions here. So first and foremost, there was multiple opportunities created. So if I wanted to do the same thing with the other opportunity, I'd have to bounce over to the account, I would assume, and then go find that other opportunity, correct?
Yeah, that's great.
And
Yes.
that's pretty easy to do. You can just click on the Alpine Ski House at the top and go find the opportunity. But the other thing I wanted to ask was, does this require the business process flow on the opportunity to match the business process flow on the lead? Like, for example, if this opportunity business process flow didn't have that qualify button, like what's controlling that? If it didn't have that qualify step, would you not be able to jump back to the lead, or would you have to do it a different way?
Yeah, so this business process flow is tying the lead to the opportunity, like you mentioned. It's called the lead to opportunity business process flow. If you were creating a new opportunity business process flow, it's going to have qualified, but it's not going to link to the lead per se. Yeah.
Just to unpack that a little bit further, on the lead, the process flow was the same. If you hadn't used the qualify button at the very top in the white ribbon bar, would it have actually created the opportunity, or would it have done something different?
Yes, based on the qualified button, it moves it to the business through the business process flow to develop. So the reason it's showing, like if I jump back to lead just one more time, this opportunity business process flow really is tied to the opportunity and to the lead, right?
I
So
see.
yeah, so you could have it separated if you wanted. So you could have it different. So we've had customers where they wanted more steps on the lead side, not just qualifying. They'd like to have a pre-qualify and then a qualify, and then it goes into opportunity. So then you'll have to edit this lead to opportunity sales business process flow. We've also had customers where they don't use the business process flow on leads in any case, like at all, and they just qualify, and that's not me refreshing, that's Dynamics refreshing on its own to get the latest data. But sorry, now I lost my place. But in any case, you could have it separated. We have customers where they have the separate business process flows linked to opportunity as well, and then it does not tie to a lead at all. So you just qualify, it becomes an opportunity, but then it's in its own business process flow. We've had customers where they have multiple different business process flows, and depending on the lead that gets qualified or the industry that they're in, it goes into a certain business process flow as well. So
Okay, this has been bugging me since we last spoke. Last we left off, we were on this lead, but can you go to a
yeah,
different lead that's not been qualified yet? Just pick any one. I want to
yeah,
ask you some
this one
questions.
has not been
Oh, this
qualified.
one is not.
This
Okay,
is
good.
Haley.
Okay, so we're on the lead, and last time you showed us how if you hit the qualify button in the top ribbon bar there, that white ribbon bar, it will actually convert this from a lead to an account contact in multiple opportunities that you can then go on and manage over on that side of the house. And you also showed us how the business process up at the top. And the business process, for those who don't know, it's that strip. Yeah, it's that strip where Jason just expanded out. So it's those different steps. And you can make those steps be whatever you want. You can tweak and customize that. But my main question is, what if we just qualified here? This doesn't actually make accounts and contacts, does it?
It doesn't. You can't just qualify here. If you go click on next stage, you'll have to qualify it first. You can see it's going to ask you select the opportunity or create, and that's what the qualify button at the top does. I can't get into the develop stage. You can see it has a little lock
Yeah.
on it, so unfortunately you can't jump in between if it's not qualified yet. Yeah,
So let
but
me
as mentioned before, oh sorry, go ahead.
let me ask a specific question because uh, I'm lost here. So are you saying that if I hit next stage there, what happens if I hit next stage? Will it not even let you?
It's not gonna, it's just gonna ask you for a new opportunity and then you can create it. So if I click on create, it's gonna go into that process and then it's gonna link this opportunity to the lead and qualify it.
So let's go
Yeah.
ahead and do this unless you don't want to blow up your
Yeah.
sample data.
No, I'm fine with that.
Oh, and so
I
the
can
contact
select the
wasn't actually
contact.
created yet either. So you had to create the
No,
contact at some point.
I'm just gonna do the save and close.
I see. And on that qualify
Yeah.
screen, I think there was a place to actually add the contact.
Yeah. So now I just jumped into the develop stage. So it linked
So
it to that opportunity.
So to answer my question, you could do it from that qualify button on the business process flow on the lead screen. The
You could, yeah.
disadvantage is it's a lot cleaner if you hit that qualify button in the white ribbon bar. It
That's
was a
correct,
lot
yes. And
cleaner.
also it allows you to create multiple different opportunities as shown in the previous environment. But again, it depends on, sorry, now I'm jumping back to the lead.
Yeah,
It,
no,
it
it's fine.
depends on whomever, like the salesperson, whatever they want to do, right? So what's quicker for them, if they know it's one opportunity and they use the business process flow, they can click on next stage, create the opportunity, and then it just pops it into qualify. Yeah,
But this, unless I missed something, this was suboptimal because it didn't actually attach it to Haley or Holly Griffiths. You had to pick someone that So Holly wasn't actually in the system.
She wasn't in the system. No.
So,
So
and there
you can
was
see
really no,
that's where the contact's not linked. Yeah.
yeah. And so like you would have had to taken this first step to add the new contact in, then add the opportunity as you qualify it. Yeah, so in general, it seems like that qualify button was a huge advantage that Microsoft has added into the latest versions.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, Pete. Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
that new screen helps a lot.
I also find it really interesting here too, like how it adds that again, it's the Copilot summary of what happened. It's just like right there front and center so you can get your bearings really quickly. That is a huge
Yeah.
add, in my opinion.
It is. It is definitely. And this copy to email is also pretty amazing. Like if you want to send a email to management, like I just want to show you what this looks like. So you can see there it's drafted with Copilot. Or you could draft the email with Copilot and then you can see it grab the summary information there. The nice thing that it's doing is it's already adding the links to, you can see Northwind Traders,
Yeah.
Miguel Garcia, Haley Griffiths, all of that's already added in there. And if they click on it, it's going to redirect them to Dynamics into that lead or opportunity or account or whatever it might be. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jason, but I'm going to tell my lazy managers to get into CRM on their own and look at a dashboard with all the latest leads. Like, I'm not sending them an email about the leads. They can go in and look at the sales right there from the Dynamics dashboard, right?
I completely agree with you. I always say if it's not in Dynamics, it didn't happen. So yes, you need to use your dashboard. Your dashboard is going to be key to doing your daily tasks.
And
Yeah.
I know we're kind of joking about this, but the truth is part of our philosophy of CRM is make life easier for you and your people. So some businesses run on alerts and notifications and text messages and emails. That's killing your productivity. If you train people to just go to the dashboard and make dashboards that are useful for them, like all new leads entered in the system that are over a certain dollar amount, if that's, if you want to keep priority on high ticket items, or all leads that have stalled out, that have gone nowhere, and it's been in the queue for more than X days, X weeks, whatever your thresholds are. Managing by dashboards is a lot more, let's just say, sane than trying to manage by alerts and interruptions and emails because yeah, it just
Yeah.
gives you more control of the situation if you do it right.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think if the dashboards are set up correctly, if it's done, it will fall off of the dashboard, right? So you know
Yeah,
it's done. As soon as it sits in your email or your Teams, I'm also a culprit. I forget. It goes down like as emails comes in, as Teams messages come in, it falls down to the bottom of the line, and it just sometimes I do forget, right? And until somebody a week later reminds me. That's why we have the concierges, which are great because they keep on me. I don't know what saying to use, but anyways, they keep on me to just follow up and get the things done. So I completely agree. That's why a dashboard is the best way of going about it.
perfect. All right, so we're in agreement. So, what other things do you want to talk about with leads and lead management?
We've actually touched on everything on leads. We're in opportunities now, so opportunities are going to be the next step.
So, we're kind of doing a bait and switch. We're going to talk about leads, but now we're going to talk about opportunities.
That's correct. Yes.
All right,
So
let's do it
if
because it is a sales
yeah,
process. It goes from leads to opportunities. So now we're going to talk about the actual selling side of it.
exactly. Yeah. So we're in opportunities now. Now you get to the next step. So now it's not an unverified interest anymore. So they actually want to do business with your company. And again, you could when you do the opportunity, you could go and you could create sequences to create against the opportunity to make sure that your salespeople follow up with this opportunity as frequently as possible. So you as the sales manager could set up whatever sequence you want, whether it's phone calls every 5 days, 3 days, emails every second day, whatever it might be. You could set up that sequence and it can be tied to the opportunity as well, not just to the lead. So you can have your sequences then going forward in your opportunity as well. I don't have any sequences active at the moment, but you can have sequences linked to your opportunities as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a seller and I would have a dashboard that says new leads or new, sorry, that wouldn't be new leads, new prospects or new opportunities. So
Yeah.
I keep on top of the leads that marketing has qualified and sent my way, whether they do it manually,
Correct.
like what you just did, or it's an automated routine that after a certain score, it moves it forward. So now I'm in my open
Correct.
opportunities. All right, why don't you show us what is this cool looking chart? And is it of any use? Because
Yeah.
sometimes the cool looking stuff isn't always of use.
It is, it is. So I jumped into, and just if I expand this again quickly. So what I did now is I jumped from leads into opportunities. So we're going to talk about opportunities now. And my view that I have here is it's called the deal tracker or deal manager. I believe that's what it was called in the beginning. They might have changed it now, but it's a pretty amazing view. I'm just going to close this again. So over here, you can see again the views at the top. You can click on all opportunities if you want to see like everything in the system. It's going to be a little bit more cluttered, but you could see a lot more. So there's only 29 opportunities. We've had some customers where they have 1,000 opportunities open, which is, again, also it's not best practice, right? If an opportunity is open for so long, so close them out, mark them as inactive or lost or cancelled or whatever. I'm just going to jump into my opportunities again, my open opportunities. So what the deal tracker, if I can call it that, shows you is it shows you your pipeline value. You can see there at the top the number of deals in the pipeline, your one amount. Of course, it's not going to show one amount because I'm on the view my open opportunities. So again, if I go to all opportunities just to show you some of the data, it's going to show the one amount. You can see there $880,000, number of one deals. All of these metrics can be changed as well. So if you go to the right hand side, you can click edit metrics and then you change the metrics. This shows you a bubble chart, or it's known as a bubble chart for opportunities by, I believe it's size, so revenue size by stage. So again, the stages are your business process first stages: qualify, develop, propose. So it's your sales stages. Again, those could be customized as well. So
I'm just going to say you must be the best salesperson ever. You've won all that deals and you haven't lost a single deal. Congrats, man.
yeah. Yeah, I should probably mark one as lost just so that we have some data in there. So,
It's all
yeah.
good to me. And I'm sorry, I know you said it, but what are the color codes for? Like, what are the
So the
different
color
colored
codes,
circles?
I actually don't know what the
Is it the
different color codes.
stage
Oh,
that they're in?
it's the stage. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
stage you can
Okay.
see there. Yeah, so the
Oh,
stage
yeah, there it
shows a
is.
different color. So if I click on, and if you click on it, it's going to remove it. So I always get confused with this. Like if I click it, that's the one that I want to see, and then it's not showing me
Right.
the one that I want to see. So like if I want to see that one, I need to click on all of those to show me the one that I actually want to see. It's kind of
Yeah, they need
not
like
the
a
way I
clear
would
all,
like
I
it.
guess. The other
Yeah.
thing
So
is, this is just really freaking cool. I'm not sure how many of our customers use this, but that's really neat. And then up at the top, you've got sales funnel next to there. What does that look like?
yeah. So this is your typical sales pipeline view. That it reminds me of in the old days when I still used to work with Sage CRM. It reminds me of that sales funnel in there. So you can see over here. Obviously, there's a couple of unknowns as well. That's making it looking a little bit ugly, but
And
it shows you your pipeline and then your estimated revenue total, the percentage of total opportunities. You can also see there as you hover over it. So.
speaking of ugly, I gotta ask, and I'm sure I'm not gonna be happy with the answer. Can you change those colors? Those colors are just really a lot.
It is a lot. I'll have to check.
Oh, it's okay. I
I'm
just
actually not
curious.
sure. I'm actually not sure, but I believe you can. It should be based on the option set because this is an option set in the back end, and I believe these colors are coded to each option set. So
That
I'll
makes
have to
sense.
double check, but I believe you can. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, what else do you want to show us about the opportunities? Because I know that there's a lot to cover with opportunities, but are there specific elements that you want to cover today?
There is a lot to cover. Let's go into one of these opportunities. So first of all, this view when you have this what's it called I think it's called the deal tracker view or the focused not the focused view. It's let's see, let's jump through. I just want to get the correct pronunciation. It's the pipeline view. That's what it's called. So when you're in the pipeline view and you click on an opportunity, so we'll just wait for it to load. It's going to open it as you saw now before I jumped all over the place. It's going to show you the opportunity on the right hand side. So if I click on this one, and then you could action your opportunity in here. Now, for some people, this might be a little bit small. For me, it is a little bit small. I like a
Yeah.
entire screen to look at everything. So you could change the topic, you can update your contact, the budget, the amount, If you scroll down again, you'll get the summary. So it's basically the main form just crammed together, and I want to say like a mobile view. So it's going to show you the summary. This one's actually linked to a sequence as well, so you can see over there. Uh, this one's linked to a sequence. If I scroll down all the way, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to expand it. So if I scroll all the way up, you can do activities there. I'm just going to go to the main form. So in here, this is now the main form that it's showing. Um, Again, you have multiple different forms. We have customers that use multiple different forms. Sales Insights one is going to show you more metrics again. If I jump into the Sales Insights form, it's going to show you your opportunity score. So in here, in the Sales Insights form, just touching on that very quickly, again, you have your sequences that's linked to the opportunity. You can see this is called the opportunity nurturing sequence. That's pretty simple and straightforward, same as the lead nurturing sequence, just for illustration purposes. So it's going to be completely different in your business. But on the right hand side, you can see over here, this is very nice. It's called the opportunity score. So these are metrics that could be set up. You can see the decision makers identified. So all of these that's showing green with a arrow like a triangle up, that's increasing your opportunity score, right? So it's making a grade A score. So it seems that this is going to be good. Now, if I add a budgeted amount, essentially it's going to be even greater because I have a budget. So, and now I can't refresh it, but it's going to refresh in a little bit, and then it's going to show an up arrow as well.
Jason,
Scrolling down, yeah.
before you move on, and I apologize if you already said this, that opportunity score, like the lead score before, and I should have asked on the lead call, can you set those parameters, or is it a built-in Microsoft formula that's doing that's rigid and you can't change it?
Yeah, so you can edit it in the back. So in your settings, and I'm not going to jump in there now, but you can edit some of the metrics, yes.
That's what
Yeah.
I was wondering. Could you give like higher scores to certain things, like if it's a certain type of deal or a certain size of deal, or if it's an industry that you is your sweet spot, your target market, that's a better deal than an industry that's not, even though they might have a decision maker and budget and time frame, but it's a bad industry for you, like bad being defined as not really our target industry.
Oh yeah, most definitely you could do that. That's what I did with the opportunity, sorry, with the lead Power Automate. When a lead comes in through a website or whatever, it actually then checks the industry. It checks if the decision maker, well, not the decision maker, but the person entering the lead is like, if it's a consultant and it's on a manager, the predictive AI learns from that, right? So I'm using AI Builder to teach the AI, and then you could say, well, this industry, like you mentioned now, is a lot better, and we've seen a lot more leads qualifying in this industry than others. So yes, you could set up those metrics. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
So if I continue down this form, you can see here the assistant. So the assistant just shows you like notifications. You can see this is a notification showing that the opportunity's close date has passed. So the nice thing about this is you'll see it on your dashboard as well. So if you have a My Dashboard or an assistant on your dashboard, the assistant view on your dashboard, it's going to show you that one Cafe BG, one Grinder, Alpine Ski House is past the close date. So you might have to update the close date to get that notification, or just close it as lost, or close it as one. Hopefully as one. So
I mean, I was looking at your sales records. All of yours are one.
that's true. One of those
Unless you've
salespeople
written a
that then
script that automatically deletes them if you lose them. So there's no evidence of.
I was about to say, I'm one of those people. I delete the opportunity if it's lost so that it can't be tracked.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
horrible.
goodness, it is horrible. We shouldn't joke about that because
No, don't
if
mess
that
with the
happens,
data. The data is sacrosanct.
yeah. If your CRM partner set up your security roles correctly, then they won't be able to delete any opportunities to adjust figures. So
Is this
yeah, that's
the
something to keep in mind.
is this the spot in the call where we say if you have a very poorly set up CRM system or you aren't happy with the response rate of your partners, you should give us a call? Is this that time in the video?
This is that time. I was working up to that beat, so I think yeah, this is definitely the time to talk about that.
Perfect.
Yeah, we could definitely help anybody with their CRM needs. So
I definitely think it's the time. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button because we're going to keep putting out content like this. And if there's things that you want to specifically know, comment below or hit us up on LinkedIn. We're all very active on LinkedIn at Azamba. So hit us up on LinkedIn and we will make content for you. We're always looking for content that's going to align with what you all are looking for. It helps if you speak up. So feel free to do that. Anyway, so this is all really cool. And because we kind of already covered a lot of this functionality in the lead screen. Like it's really just an echo of the lead screen. So an
yeah,
opportunity is just a deeper engagement than a lead. It still has a lot of the same concepts like the timeline, the sequence, the scoring, the relationship health. All those things are just this it's the same concepts, but now it's from a cold, possible, unverified prospect or lead, and now we know that there's some interest. And now we're going to be going after them to help them out, uncover their specific needs, and present solutions that hopefully will work.
exactly. Yeah, and where it gets a little bit more in depth is when you add products, right? So if you use opportunities and you add products to the opportunity to basically get a proposal out to the customer, quotes even, then it gets a little bit more tricky. Also, what we have some customers do is add approval processes into what's linked to the business process flow at the top. So you could add approval processes that we've built with Power Automate. For example, if the industry is a certain industry and the budgeted amount or the lead actual whatever the lead is going to be, right? Sorry, not lead, opportunity. What the opportunity amount is going to be, if it's greater than a certain amount, then it needs to go into an approval process for somebody to check on the proposal, right, to before it gets sent out to the customer. Or it goes to a different team. It might come in to inside sales, and then you actually need somebody in outside sales to go check up on this opportunity or check in with the customer on site. And then if it's something like that, you could go through there, have an approval process and all of that in place as well. So it's very heavily customizable. So the options are endless with what you can do with it.
That is awesome. And endless options are both a blessing and a curse, but that is all kidding aside, where we can definitely help customers out with best practices. I mean, what we like to say over here is we are technology experts, no doubt about it, but really we're business experts. So what we try to do is apply our skills and know-how from, hundreds of projects to match your needs in the most efficient, cost-effective way possible. In the end, I'm a big believer that when Serum is done right and some of the stuff that we've shown in the last video and this video, it pays for itself really fast. Because even if you can save just a couple hours of time over the course of a month, the license is paid for. And generally speaking, we're saving a lot more than a couple hours per month. Plus, we're accelerating the ability for our customers be to deliver consistent quality responses across your entire sales team and stay on top of those things so that nothing falls to the cracks. And that's huge. That's where CRM pays for
Yeah.
itself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I got into a little
I
bit of a
completely
sales
agree.
mode there. My bad.
Well, yeah, it's good to get in that mode. No, I'm with you, Pete, and I think this is a great tool. Like if you're a business and you don't use a CRM system, well, if you don't use Dynamics, you're on the wrong path. I can tell you that much, just to be completely honest. But yeah, no, every business needs a CRM system. Like Pete said, you need people to implement best practices in your CRM system. You can't just put a CRM system down there and think it's going to work and have user adoption. Like it's going to be terrible. So
Every business needs a CRM system, and that CRM system has to be Dynamics or CRM in a can.
that's great.
All
All
right,
CRM
cool.
again. Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay,
I
so
don't
what
think I have
other
anything else in opportunity. Like if we go a bit deeper, it's going to go a
did
little
we
bit
already do a
technical.
session on quotes and products? Because if not, I think we should do that in an upcoming session.
Yeah, I think we should do quotes and orders in an upcoming session as well. That's going to be the next step, right? Is doing the products onto the opportunity and then creating a quote from there, going through the quoting process, converting a quote into the ordering process, and like step through all of those functions as well. So I think that's a good next session. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I just want to say thank you again for your time here, Jason. I learned some things, and I hope the people watching learn some things. And Dynamics, Microsoft is just really improving the product all the time. And I say that as a seller. Like, so for me, I use Dynamics. And for me, like not every time I log in, that's an exaggeration, but very commonly there's like new features that just are making my life easier to stay on top of my daily workload, and it's just they're doing such amazing things with the product.
No, I completely agree with you, Pete. That's a great product.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
If you don't have a CRM system, reach out.
Perfect. Thanks, y'all. I'm out.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.